Protests over the rising price of food. The prices of rice, beans, and fruit have gone up by 50% in Haiti over the last year. The protests began Thursday and continued over the weekend. Similar food riots have been occurring across Africa in recent weeks. In Burkina Faso, a nationwide strike has been called for Tuesday. Food riots have also been reported in Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Mauritania, and Senegal. Last week, African finance ministers warned the rise in international food prices poses significant threats to Africa's growth, peace, and security. In Sierra Leone, the cost of rice has risen by 300%. Last month, the World Food Program issued an urgent appeal for an additional $500 million. Bettina Lucia of the World Food Program says the enormous spike in food prices is caused by a variety of factors.
I think what we are facing is a perfect storm. More and more people are going hungry and need food aid. At the same time, we've got the lowest food reserves in some 30 years on the markets. At the same time, prices have gone up tremendously, sometimes doubled in the last few months. And you have got climate change with less harvests, droughts, floods. So the situation is really critical, and we have to act now. We cannot waste time. We have to act now.
In Egypt, police have arrested more than 200 people in an attempt to crush plans for a nationwide general strike to protest the rising cost of food and basic necessities. In the Egyptian town of Mahia al-Kobra, police fired rubber bullets and tear gas at striking textile workers. Meanwhile, here in the United States, food pantries are reporting major food shortages. Anya Duggan says the Food Bank for New York City has seen a sharp drop in food donations over the past year.
And so we have less food in our warehouse. We're practically seeing empty shelves every week in the warehouse when we used to be brimming over and able to turn food around really quickly. What that means is that there's less food in food pantries and soup kitchens around the city, and you literally have people standing on line for hours at a time waiting for food, only to be turned away because the food runs out.
In other economic news, the U.S. economy lost 80,000 jobs in March, the biggest drop in 5 years. The official unemployment rate rose to 5.1%. Since the start of the year, over 230,000 jobs have disappeared. This is Brian Fabry, chief economist of BNP Paribas.
Job losses that we've seen over the first 3 months of this year are basic confirmation of the fact that we probably have been in recession all year long. The idea, I think, is that not only will job losses make things more difficult, it'll obviously cause consumer confidence to plunge, but it'll also make it more difficult for people to actually go out and buy more things. And this is the downward spiral, then, that lost jobs create for the economy.
Centers nearby, and upon checking out, the gal asked me what I was doing with so much food, and I said, there's an economic collapse coming to this country. Plan now. And she laughed. She actually thought that was funny. Here's the point. There are people out there that we can't help and don't want to help themselves. But as for the rest of us, buy storable food now. It remains cheap at this very moment in time, despite the meteoric rise in price of wheat, up 54% since June. Sugar's up 114%, and corn is up 79%, along with most other commodities, including silver. Buy food now for storage. This instant. Go. Tonight. Tomorrow. Buy food in any amount you are able to buy it. Just as silver was cheap 1 year ago at $14.32 an ounce, food is cheap today compared to what it will cost 1 year hence, and perhaps much, much sooner.
For 30 years, eFoods Global has been perfecting the process by which we make our food reserves. We start by using only the finest sun-ripened and fresh produce grown and harvested following the Good Agricultural Practices guidelines. Not only are our ingredients GAP certified, but we carefully test them for chemical and microbial contaminants like Salmonella and E. coli before the approved ingredients are blended into our exclusive recipes following strict quality control standards established and audited by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. These ingredients are cholesterol-free and contain no trans fats, no hydrogenated oils, and no MSG. At eFoods Global, we do not freeze dry our food because the freeze drying process removes moisture and infuses chemicals into the food to prolong the shelf life. All of our ingredients are dehydrated only using low heat, and no chemical preservatives are ever added. Our dehydration process naturally preserves the food so that upwards of 92% of the nutritional value remains intact. These quality ingredients are then packaged in moisture-resistant, light-resistant, proprietary assurance packaging that is flushed with carbon dioxide to prevent oxidation and guarantee longer shelf life and quality before sealing the package. Finally, we date stamp the outside of the package the day we prepare the food reserves, so you know you're getting fresh food reserves. eFoods Global Reserves, when properly stored, maintain their flavor and quality for up to 25 years. Now, I know what you're thinking. These can't possibly be the reserves. But these delicious meals are exactly what you get when you prepare your eFoods Global meals. And none of these meals require more than a pot of boiling water, the contents of a package, and 10 to 20 minutes. Pretty soon, you are going to select some of these delicious meals to try for yourself for free. That's a great opportunity. Let's talk about some other opportunities eFoods Global has to offer you. Do you have any food reserves in your home right now? How long could you provide food for your family if the food supply was cut off? A month? A week? 3 days? Wouldn't you feel better if you had the necessary reserves? Have you ever noticed that the more advanced we get, the less prepared we are? Many things that defined life only 100 years ago are so convenient today that we don't really think about what would happen if that convenience were gone. Consider how we get our food. We just go down to the grocery store and grab a few things. But what if something happened that interrupted the food supply to the store? How long would it take for the shelves to be wiped out? What would you do? How long could you and your family survive? You know, for all the other important things in our lives, we have a variety of professionals, from mechanics to doctors, to help cover our bases. Why don't we also have a food professional? Food is our greatest dependency. Yet most of us find ourselves unprepared for the uncertainties that lie ahead. Why take chances? Why not do something about it? You've already taken the first step. Keep moving forward with this tour, and we can help you put a plan together and even show you how to get your food for free.